Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?
Speeding?
No, it's because your intro sucks. Please step out onto the curbside.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Curbside Podcast, the podcast where we talk about cars and everything to do with cars. My name is Jeff. I drive a 2004 Honda S2000. That was weird. And I'm your Taiwanese American, Southern California.
I'm Parth. What's up, everybody? I'm back.
He's back!
I live and I drive. Okay, I mean, I do live, but like in Northern California. And I drive an M3 to 2016. It's been a minute.
I'm Andrew. I drive a 2014 Evo 10 MR and a 2015 Subaru BRZ, living up here in the Bay Area as well. And today we have a special guest, my buddy Bryan from middle school, I guess. Welcome on the show.
Thanks. Hey guys, I'm Bryan. I'm from Hacienda Heights in Southern California. I drive a 2004 Honda S2000.
Oh,
Honda boys.
Same year, too?
Yeah.
You guys are basically best friends now.
Honda boys be like.
Dude. Hell yeah.
So, Bryan, this was a funny thing, and this kind of leads into the first question we were probably going to ask you. I asked Andrew, I was like, he's like, my buddy wants to hop on the show. I'm like, for sure, sounds good. Like, can I get some background on this guy? Like, who is he? He's like, he's my friend from middle school. I didn't know until college he likes cars. I'm like, great, fantastic.
Until college.
Yeah, so I guess like when I was young, I always had like this attraction to cars. I remember like just spotting out cars and always looking out the window while my parents were driving. I'll just like be looking at, oh, that's a Honda or that's a Toyota or stuff like that. I guess I was pretty casual about cars until like freshman year of college. That's when I got my real project car, which was a 1988 Mazda RX-7.
Nice.
Yeah, that thing was like, it was a piece of work. It wasn't really reliable, and I couldn't really drive it more than maybe like 5 miles away from my home because it would like I actually got stranded multiple times with that car.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, I've learned a lot from that car. I was lucky to have a couple of friends that were more mechanically inclined. They were like my senpai, I guess. But yeah, like I eventually just started slowly learning how, like, what is a ratchet, what is a 10 mil socket, what's a wrench, like just like the really like basic stuff. I just started from there, and then I just slowly just started playing around, got my first manual car, the RX-7. Just ever since then, that's when I really got into it. I guess like I'm more into like Japanese cars. I'm more into like the track and time attack stuff now. So after I sold the RX-7, I got the S2000 after. It's a funny story too, because the reason why I sold the RX-7 was because, so my grandparents in Taiwan, they had like this really clean E36 coupe.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like a red automatic, only had like 30,000 miles on it. And my grandparents were too old to drive that car, so they wanted to, they talked about like shipping it over to me. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, like I'll take that in a second. Like let me sell my car right now. So I sold the RX-7, like thinking that I would get the E36.
They played you.
Yeah, they freaking played me. And then they're like, the import costs are too high, this and that. Like it's too much of a hassle to ship this car from Taiwan to America, and then you have to go through customs and stuff like that. Shortly after hearing those bad news, I bought AP2 2004 S2000. I've had the S2000 for almost 4 years. 3.5 years, almost 4. But yeah, it's been honestly that I like the S2000 more than the RX-7 for sure. It's a much better like mechanical platform.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're a brave man. Your first project car, you decided to go for a rotary.
Oh yeah.
Which, are notoriously reliable.
They're the most reliable. What are you talking about?
Parth used to have an RX-8.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh
shit.
shit.
It was a hand-me-down from my dad. So that was my first car, actually, was an RX-8.
Dude,
Brave souls.
For some reason, I got really lucky. We never had any like major problems with that car at all. Like maybe I think just one time the cat blew out on it, and the car was just like, until we got a new cat.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think we got really lucky, and also we maintained it well. But we also got really lucky, and nothing ever happened to it.
Like those rotary engines, if you keep your eye on it and maintain it well, it'll treat you right.
So you were saying how you started becoming a like hardcore car enthusiast in college-ish.
Yeah.
But I think right now you, out of all of us, have done the most to your car.
Yes.
Honestly, Andrew's done a lot too. Like I see him
Bro.
on.
I don't have a fucking spreadsheet for my car.
Yeah, can you go over with us some of the things you have done to your S2000?
Yeah. Let me pull up my spreadsheet right here.
Man has a spreadsheet. We saw the spreadsheet.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
I'll try my best to go from chronological order. So when I first got the car, it was completely stock. I got HKS GT coilovers. After that, I got some wheels and tires, which are the Grand Whites 57DR. I got the iBox sway bars, which stiffened up the car so much. Custom roll bar, Momo Monte Carlo steering wheel, a replica Type R, Civic Type R shift knob, stainless steel brake lines, a new timing chain tensioner, axle spacers, and then I have upgraded speakers, and then I have a Megan racing muffler, and then I have two Buddy Club P1 seats with Takata 4-point harness, a Block's clutch master cylinder. The shifter bushings were also changed.
Did you do all this yourself, Bryan?
I did everything myself except for the roll cage, and also except for the muffler, the cutting and welding, because I don't know how to weld. So basically, like everything that's welded or fabricated, I did not do.
So you basically did everything except for the shit that literally you have to go to like school for. So
Yeah,
you're definitely the most mechanically inclined here.
He started in
Honestly,
college and was a prodigy, basically.
I've liked cars for a long period of time, but my mechanical inclination has gone like this. It's gone the other way.
Yeah,
I
I
tried
needed
it.
help with lowering springs.
Bro, dude, I had a buddy. I just on Monday. He came over because he had to get his spacers and shit installed. It didn't happen Saturday, so he came
Took
Monday.
a day and a half.
Dude, no. So he came Monday. So he had to take his spacers off because he was rubbing too much. He drives a 2012 335 IS. And we, on the right side of his car, we jack his car up. We take the two spacers out. Easy, done, like, 15 minutes, not even anything, right? We go to the other side, his back left, and jack the car up, take the wheel out. Spacers stuck to the on the hub, right? So there's a little like gap in there where you can supposed to get like a flathead or something in there where you can kind of like pry it out. Nothing's happening. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? My other friend comes over to be in touch because he was bored. I'm like, bro, look at this goddamn spacer, dude. Like, this shit is not coming out. Screwdriver, WD-40, hitting with a hammer, nothing. It wasn't even moving. I'm like, bro, who did you take this car to last? He's like, America's Tire. I'm like, these motherfuckers like super glued this shit onto your car, I swear. So I'm like, all right, bro, I can't do anything with this spacer. It's not coming off. Literally, I've done everything that I could try. My skill ends here. And then I was like, let me get your front one off, your front left, and then you can just take this to somebody and maybe they'll be able to do something with it, easier. Go to his front left, and his front left jacking point was sheared off. I was like, bro, where the fuck is your jacking point, man? Like, what is this? Like, how is it gone? Like, this shouldn't be gone. I'm like, how am I supposed to lift this fucking side? Oh, and then we'd also figured out if you lift his back right side, it actually lifts the front up too, enough where you can take the wheel out. But on the back left side, if you jack it up, the front doesn't come up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is happening with your car, dude? Like, one side goes up, the other side doesn't, and the front jacking point on that's gone. I can't get to the front center jacking point because his car's too low. I'm like, bro, you're driving home with these two spaces on this other side. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna drive to a shop and tell them to fix this shit because there's something very wrong with your car. But see,
This is all for fucking spacers.
Spacers, see, exactly.
This is why you buy Japanese.
I
My
will
expertise
never
ends at
buy a
spacers.
BMW. Today
Yes.
I have learned that. Unless I'm rich and I have
Oh my
like
God, dude.
someone do everything for me. What the heck?
Honestly, like I don't like working on cars. It's
Oh,
weird.
yes.
Like I honestly like I work on cars to save money, but if someone asks me to like work on their car, I'm like, I don't enjoy it, to be honest. I don't really. I mean, there are some memories, but if I was rich today, I would probably just take my car to a mechanic. But I was kind of like forced in the position to just learn everything. Because if I do it myself, I could save so much money.
Yeah.
Labor is expensive.
I like working on cars. I like when I first start going into it, and then halfway I'm like, I fucked up.
Yeah, why did I do this?
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying, Brian, because I have friends who see me change the oil on the car. That's like the extent of my car working knowledge.
Hey,
And
better
they're
than
like,
spacers only. You know?
and they're like, you like working on your car, right? Why don't you go try be a mechanic or something? I'm like, I hate working
Car
on my
mechanics
car.
hate cars.
Every time I've had something go wrong, I get so mad at my own car. Imagine me trying to do that with someone else's car.
Oh, yeah. Like strip all their bolts.
But out of, I think all of us, I think you're the most mechanically inclined because
Yes.
of that, though.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't know everything. I just learn what I need to learn, I guess. I guess like learning, like working on your own car, there's always something new that pops up. And especially like the more you modify your car, there'll always be more problems that pop up down the road that you don't anticipate. So like whenever a new problem pops up, there's usually something new to learn, and I just learn it. I don't actually just pick up a book and just start learning everything. I just learn as I go.
When something goes wrong, first I'm like, how long is it okay if this is wrong? Like, will something happen? And then if that question is yes, something will happen, then it's okay. Who can I pay to do this for like $20? And that's usually like nobody. And there's two more steps before I go and try to do something myself. So yeah.
When I try to do something myself and it's something I've never done before, I'm like, all right, the whole day is dedicated to this. Nothing else. So I think it's safe to say that we have established Brian as a certified car guy. More than us. Mm-hmm. So I thought it'd be kind of fun this week. I saw this article on Drive Tribe. Someone wrote an article about how to answer car non-enthusiasts.
Oh, dear God.
And since we have an extra brain with us today, I thought it'd be interesting for us to go over this and see how we would answer.
Let's start with how many we have heard personally.
Okay. So here's on the list that we have heard. It's number 4 on this article by John Coleman, and it says, a car is only a thing to get you from A to B.
I'm gonna literally leave. I'm gonna leave, bro. That question, like, you know how like some people's face, you just want to punch it, like you see it, you're like, that pisses me off. Yeah, if there's some question somebody asks you, you just like you want to like start a next World War III. That's one of those questions for me.
Just take the train then.
Right? Yeah.
You can
Walk,
get to
bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Go ride a horse. Go ride a bicycle.
I know, right?
All right. We've gone over that many times, but let's just start at the top of the list, okay? This is something someone would say. What's the point of a car that's fast when we've got speed limits?
Fuck speed limits.
Yeah, I mean they're like suggestions, they're like guidelines. How many of you do 45 at a 45? Like most of the time, freeway, city, street, I'm averaging 60. Like that's just my mental speed limit. I mean, don't come arrest me, but like,
dude, like, okay, speed limits. There's a lot of speed limits on roads that just don't make sense. Like, if it's like 35 or something, it just doesn't fucking make sense. Like, why?
Honestly, like for me, like having fun in a car doesn't mean going fast. Sometimes it's the acceleration. Like if you think about like
how quickly you can hit the speed limit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could like legally have fun, But also if you think about cars like the Toyota 86, it's not a fast car, but you still have a lot of fun just revving the shit out of it. You're not going fast, you're not breaking any speed limits, you're still shifting through all the gears and stuff. Handling is also part of just like the feeling of being in a car, all the G-forces and stuff.
Yeah.
Not just top speed.
I think we talked about it with when Doug was on. We were saying like it's a lot more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car
Exactly.
slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's all about what's the quickest way I could pull onto an on-ramp. And onto
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also, like, in the case of, like, fast cars, like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and whatnot, just because you can't go, like, 200 miles an hour on public roads doesn't mean that from 0 to 200, it's all just boring stuff. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
A car that's made fast is probably made to handle well, right?
A Ferrari and Lamborghini is fun just when it starts up, dude. Like, it doesn't even have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You just start
Like,
it up and you're like, my day's better.
There it is. You're not gonna get that sound. You're not gonna get that look. You're not gonna get that like handling from a 4-cylinder Camry. Like that's designed to be a slow car, so it looks that way and it sounds that way. And there it is.
I feel like people buy those cars not because like, oh, they're going to go 200 miles an hour. It's because they know they can.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the option to if they wanted to.
That's true.
That's why they spend all that money.
Yeah, you go to people who buy diving watches.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna go 100 meters underground with your Rolex.
With your $40,000
I
Rolex. But I can, exactly. Or it's like the motherfuckers that buy like 8K TVs. What the shit is shot in 8K like right now?
Dude, yeah,
what are you gonna do with that 8K TV? But you know you got it though.
Next question on the list is, look, I'm never going to afford a Lamborghini, so why get excited by them?
Why get excited by Louis Vuitton and Chanel and shit like that too?
Yeah, broke bitch.
Yeah.
It's like-
Rolex.
It's like seeing a famous celebrity on the road and being like fanboy
Yeah, you're like,
of
oh.
the celebrity. I mean, you're not gonna be the celebrity.
Yeah, you're not gonna be it. What are you gonna do? Like, oh my god, like you know, it's like.
It's like, oh my god,
Stupid-ass
Johnny
question.
Depp. I'm never gonna be Johnny Depp. Like,
And plus, what kind of mindset is that? I'm never gonna be able to afford it. Bitch, work hard. Go try to afford it. Like, what the fuck?
Right? I'm never going to be able to afford it. So there it is. I'm done. All right.
Right,
So then
loser.
go buy a
Fuck
Camry
off.
and just go retire and die tomorrow, bro. Like, what the hell
Fucking
is this shit?
loser.
God, yeah, that's some negative ass mindset. You know, I'd call him out on the mindset first. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit
Non-car
of a...
enthusiast.
I'm like, that's some broke boy shit attitude, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
That's less of a car enthusiast question than more of a
What the
motivation
fuck is
question.
wrong with you? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next question. Number 3. All cars look the same.
All
Skip.
fucking Louis bags look the same, bro. Like, well, it's the same thing, dude. It's perspective, man. Everyone's just stupid.
I
Not
will
what
say
I
this
say.
though. I will say this though. I went to a precursor. I'm sorry to my friend Andrew Willard. He invited me to an Audi Cars and Coffee, and I went. It was cool for like 2 minutes, but then I looked at everyone parked in backwards, and I was just looking across like same car. I don't know the front end on every single car is the same. I'm like, okay, I've seen everything already.
yeah, I mean, I do understand the point, but I feel like if you're really into cars, you could actually tell differences.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you look like
yeah.
really close, I was looking at like there were builds and like people had bagged ones, people had like really crazy built out like just drag monsters, and I looked at those, but after like a few minutes, I was like, oh.
Like if you're a car enthusiast, you can tell the difference between, say, like an M3 competition and a stock M3.
Right.
The regular ass motherfuckers wouldn't even be able to tell the difference between a 3 Series and an M3.
They
Or
just see the
3 even a
badge.
5. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, but at the same time, even if you're not a car enthusiast, unless you're like blind as a bat, okay, you're not gonna go, look, a Honda Fit and a Lamborghini Murcielago. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
All right, next one. We got the cars from A to B. Next one is cars are bad for the environment. Well, cows are bad for the environment.
Yeah, stop eating beef, fucking McDonald's shits.
Yeah, you're bad for the environment. Stop existing.
Yeah, people are the worst for the environment.
Speaking of environment things, you guys see the news today about? I mean, I know this is news, but it just kind of popped in my head. Gavin Newsom's trying to end like the sale of gasoline cars in California by 2035.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's insane.
It's honestly, I don't mind it too much because it's like it's only applied towards new production
New
cars.
cars.
So
Yeah.
we would still be able to drive our, like the classic cars and stuff. I'd still be able to drive my S2K. Gas would probably be cheaper by then too. Hopefully,
But, like,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be able to afford whatever Ferrari's Halo car is by then. I won't be able to.
It'll be an electric one. You won't be able to, Parth. then
not,
why bother getting excited?
I won't be able to buy one. I might be able to afford it, but I might not be able to buy one if it is gasoline.
No, it'll be electric, and then you'll be able to afford it by then.
I don't like this whole electric future fully. No.
Yeah, but I mean, a true car enthusiast doesn't care about emissions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about my MPG, to be honest. I don't even.
I care about that,
dude,
but my
that's
fucking daily is callous.
When my dad first got the Ferrari, he was like, everybody would start talking to him, like, even like family events and stuff. Like these like family members you see like once a year that nobody gives a shit about. They're like, "Oh, you got a Ferrari? That's so nice. Yeah. How much MPG does it get?" And my dad's like, "I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. Literally, it doesn't matter to me." He's like, "Yeah, my whatever Toyota bullshit Fugo, whatever shit it is, gets 32." My dad's like, "Congratulations, bro." Like,
Yeah.
you're asking me a question that's not relevant.
Surprisingly, I do care about MPG in my Evo. It's so bad, dude. I went from 29 average to like 16.
But you're not gonna sell the Evo because the MPG's bad, right?
No, fuck no.
There we go. Final question on the list. A car is just a hunk of metal, like a dishwasher. What's to love?
I mean, like, yeah, a Toyota Camry and a Prius is like, it's the same. I've said that before. It's literally a dishwasher. With those cars, yes, you're right.
Some cars will qualify as that. Like cars
Camry, Prius,
Prius, a Corolla, like
the Lexus,
Mirage.
the base Lexuses,
Yeah,
Lexus sedans, yeah.
like those could like if it's not your like first car that you're personally attached to because of something, it's if it's just some boring bland beige box, then yeah, okay, fine. But we have to understand that like we've talked about this many times.
More complex dishwashers out there.
There might be
Cooler dishwashers.
like we as car enthusiasts form an emotional attachment to these cars because of some strange reason, but there's usually a good story behind it.
Yeah. I mean, like, technically all cars are just pieces of metal, just different components all stitched together. But what makes them each car different is that each car is composed of different parts, different moving parts, and every single one is unique.
And then it's a sensation that it provides. Those, like you said, those components in different parts of metal.
And the freedom. If we're trying to get deep, it provides freedom.
Damn.
Your family is just a bunch of cells stitched together by some.
Yeah, your family
stuff.
is just a bunch of just meat.
What's to love?
It's just meat.
Ugh.
Stupid non-enthusiasts.
Well, there you go. That's how you answer a non-enthusiast, non-car enthusiast. The way we answer them.
Honestly, if you don't want to waste your time, I would just kindly tell them to fuck off. And that's it. Like, just don't even. Why waste your time?
And by the end of this episode, all four of us only had car enthusiasts as friends.
That's fine. That's fine. Honestly, they seem to be a better breed of people anyway.
Yes.
All right. With that, shall we go to our break?
Sure, if you want to.
All right, welcome to our break. As always, you can find us at thecurbsidepodcast.com. There you'll find a link to all of our things, like all the platforms we're on. And I think there's a link to our YouTube channel there. Go check that out. Subscribe. We're almost at 200. We are at
4 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy.
I'm hoping by the time this episode comes out, people are like, what are they talking about? You already have 200. Hopefully.
Fucking famous. You can also find us on social media on Instagram at the Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, and Facebook at facebook.com/the Curbside Podcast. Hit us up. I guess if you know one of us personally, hit us up and you can be on the show like Bryan.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's
Why
content. Yeah. And shoot us an email for whatever reason you would want to email us for. Email is thecurbsidepodcast@gmail.com.
And with that, let's go back to the show.
I went to college at UCR, which is University of California, Riverside.
River
and
shit.
we had like this car club. Pretty cool. Just a bunch of college kids hanging out, drinking boba, and just checking out people's cars here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much
That's
about
nice.
it.
me and Jeffrey were at Pepperdine. Our car scene was like 650S on campus.
Yeah.
458 on
Parth
campus.
was okay,
How was I okay?
but I was too poor to
fucking
join
M3. Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
freaking
yeah, dude.
Pepperdine car club, dude.
Hey, dude, and I had an M3 and I was bottom tier. I was legit bottom tier.
I was like, hey, can I like be part of this car club? I like drive an S2000. I don't know if that's it. No response.
It was literally like overnight, right? So I got the M3 in the summer, then I came back to school in the fall, and I had a few. And these mostly it's the international kids at our school that have the nice cars, and they range from fucking McLarens and Ferraris and Porsches and
So stupid.
BMWs. So I had this one buddy of mine. He had an M5, which he actually had another one because he trashed the first one. Right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I knew him because I think we had a class or something together. I forgot how I knew him. And then I told him I had an M3, and the one evening he's like, "Hey, you want to go with us to where are we going to? Santa Monica?
Santa
We're gonna get some. Yeah, we're gonna get some boba. This is like a little car meet we're doing in the parking garage." I was like, "Okay." Fucking roll up there, dude. I was like, I see why I was invited, dude. Like, and I was bottom tier. Like that was the funny part. I was there, and I'm like, this is legit. Like actually a car meet, like with that you'd see at, expensive places and shit. Like what the fuck?
It's funny that you mentioned, or Jeff mentioned that he had to tell them what car he drove, because at UC Riverside, you didn't have to have a car to join the car club. Like if you're just like a car enthusiast and you just enjoyed looking at cars, like that was just enough.
So let's put something. Also, there wasn't a really official club with this thing. It was just a bunch of rich dudes with nice cars that kind of had like its group.
It's a socialite club.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Let's
it's
put
not
it that
really
way.
a club.
It wasn't
It's
really a
called
club.
a tax bracket.
There was a Malibu. Yeah, exactly. there was a Malibu Autobahn.
Yeah,
that was like
it's turned into that basically.
yeah,
like it
but
started there and became that whole thing. That Malibu Autobahn's actually really big right now. They
yeah,
had-
which is
they
like
had
comparable to
their
like
own booth at LA Auto Show.
yeah. So
Oh wow.
it's basically comparable to like 100 octane events here. You know those guys, Andrew.
But Parth's M3 got him into that car club. So
I went one time, bro. I went one time. After that, I was like, I'm not, dude. I'm down.
He's a
But-
socialite.
Screw these guys.
I went one time, man. Jesus.
But anyway, speaking of M's,
Parth's got a lot on his mind.
Okay, let's go, dude. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's go. Hold up. Let me pull up the link, though, real quick. Jeez.
yay!
Pretty bad.
It's the new M3.
It-
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
Dude.
I see this car, and every time I see it, my nose gets itchy.
it looks like a pod racer from Star Wars.
I like the headlights.
The headlights, everything about this car, I actually really like. The interior, the headlights, the tail lights, the wheels, the rear fenders, the rear tail lights, the rear end, except for these goddamn motherfucking pieces of shit front kidney grills that they're calling it.
That's so bad. There's no good angle for it. Remember,
There
when we
is
had
none.
my friend Justin on, he was like, maybe when there's color on it, it'll look better. Fuck
Yeah,
you, Justin.
no. Yeah, Justin, honestly, dude, like, you were wrong. Like, you're wrong. Like, so just, yeah, like,
So,
That's-
Parth, you say you like everything about this car except the grills.
yes.
I like everything about your car more than this car.
Oh, yes, 100%. No, I agree. But, it's, okay, let's put it this way. I like how it looks if you just don't, use your hand. Everybody use your hand. If you're watching YouTube, everybody use your hand on this photo. Take your hand and cover everything up to the front wheel. Now look at that. That looks pretty good.
It looks too boring.
It looks very generic.
To be honest, the side of it actually looks almost exactly the same as my M3. It didn't look like they did shit to the
I
side
don't
of the car.
know. I think yours looks better.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the F80 does look better in general.
The rear end looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks less of a Lexus than the 3 Series, which this is based on, which looks like a Lexus.
Maybe also if they match the styling of this like very ugly and aggressive front end with the rest of the car, maybe the front grille would have looked better. But it's like it goes from extremely aggressive to like very, very mild.
Yeah, it's so aggressive in the front that it makes the back look super boring. So when I first saw it, I literally thought, I was like, someone stuck a giant kidney grill on a Civic.
Yes.
Like, that's what it felt like, especially in those colors that they put them out in.
Some stats and things. I was watching BMWs. There was 2 German guys walking around the cars talking about shit, so I listened to it. So this green one, what?
It's talking
You good,
about how
Jeff?
perfect it is.
Yeah, basically. So the green one is called Isle of Man green. That's their new signature color for the M3. And the yellow one, I don't fucking remember. It's like shit yellow or something like that. The M3 that they showed, this one specifically is actually the M3 competition. So the M3 and the M4.
That's the M3 competition.
So the competition for M3 and
Yikes.
M4 is out now at the same time as the regular car.
Wait,
as the regular
so-
M3, M4.
So if we go out and look at green press photos of the M3, that's the competition?
Yes, this is the competition.
No freaking way.
The competition. This is the competition's coming out this time with the car. Like, you know how they did before was M3, M4. Then a year or 2 later was the M3, M4 competition. No. Now that competition's coming out with the regular car. The difference: the regular M3 and M4 can come with the 6-speed manual. So that's a good thing. That's the one good thing out of this whole thing, that these guys still have a manual. The M3 and M4 regular have 490 some horsepower, and the competition is gonna have 513 or some shit like that.
So
Which is
700.
probably 700, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So and that the competition ones come with a Steptronic. There's no manual gearbox allowed. The competitions have a separate transmission cooler radiator type deal. Both the cars have improved cooling. Both the cars
they
have
better.
I fucking hope
Oh,
so.
yeah, with those grills, I hope.
Amazing thing though, even with the extra horsepower, all of their 0 to 60s across the regular and the competition are 4.1 seconds, M3 and M4. And these will be coming with the new MX drive shit that comes in the M5, but that's coming next summer. So,
Okay.
yeah, and that'll be competition only.
Do they have an aftermarket bumper?
I think, I don't know, dude. But
Get rid of that front bumper.
You know, Brian's got a point. Let's start a business where we make front bumpers for the new M3 and M4 with normal kidney grills.
We'd
Put an
sell out.
F80. Just put an F80. Just put an F80 front on it. We need to go to all the pick and pulls and the junkyards like right now, and take all those front bumpers off of them, you know, and then start reselling them because that'll be a nice income. So you guys remember when the whole Bengal butt thing was a thing with the 5 Series and 7 Series back in like 2005, 6, 7, something like that? I feel like they're gonna fire somebody else too now.
I think so. This is going to be another one of those.
Yeah, it's
You're
gonna be
gonna
another
see
one of
their
those.
drop in sales.
The first indication is social media. As soon as these guys posted this up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that shit, all the comments, like, okay, fine, 95% of the comments at least were like, oh my god, it's ugly, vomit emoji, you know, like sick emoji, like, oh my god, why did you guys do this? F80 is better, I'm keeping my F80 M3. It's like, oh my god, who would upgrade? Like, literally everyone's commenting that. Like, how did they... And those same comments were happening when they were teasing this shit too, like 6-7 months ago. So
And
did
they
it,
followed through with production.
dude, they didn't learn shit.
That's the thing I don't understand about concept cars, right? They
Yeah.
tell us that concept cars are released to, you know, show the public what the future of design will be at a company.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, to gauge their reaction. Well, the 4 Series concept came out. Everyone was like, you know, all of it looks pretty good except for those massive kidney grills. And BMW was like, we hear you. We're just going to do it anyway. like, why do you bother making that concept car then? Just go, here's the new 4 Series. Anyway, speaking of weird grills, another thing came out this week. The new Nissan Z Proto came out.
Oh, you mean the Nissan Aston Martin?
Yes. This is going to be the next generation. It's going to be called the 400Z, coming out in 2021. And they think, again, it's going to be a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6 making either 300 horsepower or 400 horsepower. It's going to start around 40K, maybe.
Honestly, I love it. I think it's
The
great.
front and rear, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. I kind of dig it. I dig mostly all of it, except for that rectangle grill, and there's no other way of describing it. It's literally a rectangle. Like someone has censored out the face of the Nissan Z.
They use like the old Datsun 240 as a like inspiration, and I really applaud
for sure.
Nissan for
Definitely.
doing that, because the Datsun 240 is actually one of my favorite like classical JDM car, and I do see the resemblance. I guess I'm kind of biased because I'm kind of like fanboying over Nissan.
Yeah, I do. So I do like the 240Z. The one thing I never liked about the 240Z though was the grill, which I guess is what they're trying to emulate here, because it was like a cut off, like square shape on the original 240, right?
Yeah.
But it works better on that car, and it also had like a bumper going through it, so it was separated, not one block.
Yeah,
Dude,
That's true.
And this might be another thing, like the Supra. In the videos and the photos, the proportions look all wrong to me. Like,
I don't know. I think it looks pretty good in the.
I don't know,
in the
dude. From the
videos.
rear end, it looks like the car can be a little bit longer, and you look at the side view, it looks smashed. Like it looks. The rear end from the from the roof line down looks like a Mustang,
It
and
reminds me just of a modernized like 350Z.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
The taillights do kind of resemble like American Muscle a little bit.
It made me think
Or
of a
does it look-
ZX.
Yeah, the 300ZX.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to pay too much homage to too many cars, and it doesn't look like like I don't know, dude. It just doesn't make sense. That rectangle, especially what you said, Jeff, is throwing me the shit off, man. Like,
You know what I think about the rectangle? You know what I think it is? I think, yes, it's to pay homage to the 240Z, but I also think they thought to themselves, if we put a little bit more of a shape to it in designing this grill, it's going to look exactly like an Aston Martin.
yeah,
Yeah.
a baby Aston, dude.
it's got Aston style headlights already.
Yeah, they literally went to wherever Aston stores their headlights and stole just a shit ton of them. And they also decided to present it in that green color that's very similar to the Vantage green color that was presented in. So that might have something to do with it.
Wait,
What's
is that
with all
green
these-
or is that yellow?
It's like that
That's a good
neon-ish.
question.
Yeah. What's with all these new cars looking like shit, dude? Like, well, BMW's going down the toilet. I don't like this one. I never even liked the Z in general. I never liked how it looked. But why can't anybody make a good-looking car that's at a decent price? Corvette.
Americans.
Yes.
Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chargers. Hellcats. Yes, you're right.
The Bronco, the Charger, the
SRT. Yeah.
C8
Yeah.
Corvette.
Buy
Good-looking
American.
cars.
If you're looking to buy a good-looking car in the 2020 decade, buy an American car. Germans lost their shit. Japanese lost their shit.
I'm just waiting for the aftermarket to see what the aftermarket does with this car, because like there's nothing like if the front bumper looks weird, there's nothing a aftermarket front bumper can't fix. Just toss
Hey.
on another bumper on there.
You're right again, Brian. Let's add to our business. We sell the 3 Series front bumpers, and we sell Z bumpers. There it is.
All right, that's the plan to get rich.
So the CHP has apparently retired its last 2 Crown Vics in service.
What about that third one in
Oh,
the
what?
back?
They forgot about
Pretty
it.
sure I saw one. I'm pretty sure I saw one this past weekend.
Apparently, on September 5th, so they say, they have retired all of their CHP Crown Vics. And,
Cap.
it's the end of an era that, I'll be quite honest, I never really understood. Do you
I mean,
guys
it was just
have any-
iconic because of movies and shit. Like that's
Yeah, but why the Crown Vic?
because it's cheap and
Probably
it's a
cheap.
fucking tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
5
You just-
liter V8.
You just put a
Can't go
fucking
wrong.
beefy suspension on that, put some shit on it. These guys could run through a wall. They could, go on the light of duty the next day with that same car.
That's
Yeah.
true, right? Like you could run into things and back into things because
Yeah.
as far as I can tell, the Crown Vic, the trunk and the nose, they look exactly the same.
Yeah. Like Like if you swap the taillights and the headlights, it would be fine. Like there wouldn't be much of a difference.
Just a blob car.
I've actually met someone on our local canyon road with a Crown Vic, and then it was all lowered, and he had like RPF ones on there. It was all white. Holy crap, it's crazy. But
Dude,
yeah,
a lowered Crown Vic? That must look like the longest car in the world.
You know why it's heavy? It's because it's on a fucking truck chassis.
oh really?
That's
Yeah.
why. That's why they're using
That's why
it to
they're
ram into
indestructible.
things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they could like ram the bad guys off the road.
So they're
Pit
literally
maneuvers.
tanks. They're literally tanks.
Yeah. Your Civic isn't gonna stand a chance to my like F-150 chassis
Yeah,
Crown Vic.
seriously.
Oh yeah, you get destroyed. I heard somebody told me that those like CHP SUVs are like 500 horsepower or something like
Oh,
that.
the Explorers are fucking
Explorers are
fast.
insane,
Yeah.
dude. They're crazy.
They're like souped up, like a normal person can't buy it or something like
Yeah,
that.
they're factory modified.
Yeah.
For cops.
Like you know those things that they sell the cop cars towards the end of their
Yeah,
lives.
exactly. I'm,
Yeah,
like, I'm
the
waiting
ex-
for those.
The
I'm waiting for
Explorer
those
will be pretty
Explorers.
good.
Oh yeah.
That thing's gonna be a fast fucking tank, dude. It'll probably beat the shit out of it, but for cheap,
Yeah.
it'll be like a nice like fourth, fifth, sixth car to have. You know.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's gonna be our show for this week. Thank you for joining us, Brian. Hope you had fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was really fun.
As always, you can find us at thecurbsidepodcast.com. Remember, if you guys like the show, please share it with your friends. We need more listeners. It would be very nice. Rate us on Apple Podcasts and whatever other platforms allow you to rate us. And go check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Watch our videos. We just did an interview last week with Ed Bolian, in case you guys missed that. That was a fun
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, go check that one out.
Again, you can find us on social media on Instagram at the Curbside. I was going to say the Instagram.com. At the Curbside Podcast. Hit us up on there. Slide into our DMs.
Bro, not
We'll
again,
go to-
dude.
No. Just can follow us on Twitter at Curbside Pod and Facebook.com/the wow.
Perkside
All right, moving
Cod Pass.
on.
The Perkside Cod Pass. It's okay. Me and Jeff have said that before the show too.
Yeah.
And thanks as always to Kid Dope for the intro and outro to our show. Fast Cars and Wild Hearts.
As always, my name's Jeff.
I'm Parth.
I'm Andrew.
Thank you, Brian,
Brian.
again for being on the show.
Yes, you had it, Brian.
And remember, drive safe, and life is too short to drive boring cars.
Bye.
Curbside Cod Pass.
Perkside Todd Pass. What?